Welcome into the RotoWire DFS Soccer Show. I'm Adam Zdroik, joined by Ryan Belongia. We have a finally, Ryan. It's a 4-game slate on Saturday. I think it's done, 3, 4 in a row that we've done 3 gamers, and now we have an added game. Of course, we have West Ham are home against Southampton, which is going to take the lead here. But what's up on this Friday? This is a good Friday, Ryan. Let's get some good results on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a good Friday. Nice little 4-game slate, like you said. We've had a bunch of 3 gamers, so that's nice. 10 more King of the Pitch tickets up for grabs, I see, we're on like 190 or something. There's another $25 contest this weekend. Yeah, Champions League, Europa League, some crazy games. Feeling good. West Ham, Southampton kind of, I don't know. I was going to say puts a damper on the slate, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's fine. What do you think about this slate and this West Ham Southampton game? I mean, this has got to be West Ham have been pretty bad, not really scoring, and now they have over a 2 total for probably the first time all year. I don't know.
I would say it's not a massive damper because it is West Ham, and Southampton haven't been. Last week we came into the show and you're thinking Southampton were coming off a win against Aston Villa.
I confused them with Ipswich.
Yeah. Southampton are whatever. They do get Flynn Downs back after a 2-game suspension. But I think with West Ham, we'll see what this lineup actually looks like. And I think they're coming off a game where they went 3 center backs again. But no matter what they do, it's not like this isn't a situation where we're going to come in and be like, okay, since West Ham are in this spot, we're going to plug in 6 of their players. Because outside of Kudus and Bowen, I think that what else are the options? Like JWP, are we just going to blindly play JWP for however many set pieces he gets? Maybe in cash games, that's fine. And then the other possible starters, again, we don't know actually who's going to start. Is Soler going to be in there? Paqueta? Does this automatically mean Paqueta's in the conversation, even though he's more expensive than Kudus? I'm not sure about that. Scarles comes off for Emerson if he starts early. So, and then Wan-Bissaka, if he's going to be in a fullback instead of a wingback, and he's more than 5K. So it's not like a situation where, okay, I'm just going to blindly plug in these guys. I just don't feel like West Ham are even a team like that we need to do that. Maybe a couple guys. I think once we get to forward, I think it's almost clear that you want to play a guy like Bowen, and because of Kudus' price, that one's pretty clear as well, just because Bowen, we know we're getting 90, Kudus probably at least 85, I think. So I think if we look at those 2 options, and then I'm not sure anyone else is clear for West Ham. Is that kind of your read there?
Yeah, pretty much to a T. JWP 3,800 is obviously too cheap for all we've said about JWP. So
if you need to play him,
right. Obviously, you're playing him in cash. But what I was going to say is, there's a lot of decent midfielders on this slate, right? KDB, Eze, Mbomo, even like lower down, Mateus Fernandez. So, it depends what kind of construction you want to make. But 3,800, I don't know, he's been doing okay, Ward-Prowse. You figure they're going to get some set pieces here. But yeah, like you said, are West Ham even like capable of I don't know, dominating a team like that, putting up a ton of floor? You poked holes in like a bunch of guys too, Wan-Bissaka, Scarles, pretty much everybody except Bowen and Kudus.
Yeah, I plugged in Roto AI, my projections, and from a floor perspective, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, this is straightforward. This is kind of what we're dealing with. There's not really anything that stands out. All the plays are pretty, again, straightforward, depending on what happens with the Estupinian. We had the Estupinian conversation last week. And starting with forward, I think one of the questions will be, do you want to spend up for 2 forwards with Bowen, or do you want to do something else? Because You mentioned the JWP part. I'm not sure that we actually need JWP depending on what you do with your second forward. So that's probably the big question, is your second forward outside of Bowen. So Bowen is 9K. The only projected starter I think from that's actually taken set piece is Jack Harrison. He's 7K, but he's against Man City. I don't think he's really in the conversation here. And he's probably an early sub risk as well. So Marmouche is 9,800. Kind of a hefty price without set pieces. Not my first look, but I think the question will be coming to Marmouche at 9,800, Semenyo at 6,300. Like that's the kind of range I'm looking at. Is that your kind of read here? Does someone stand out that I'm not thinking about? If Dwight McNeil starts for 4,700, would he immediately enter the conversation? Though he's coming off from injury. 60, 70 minutes from Dwight McNeil, home against Man City. Tough look, but I guess if you spend up for Marmouche, then you're playing JWP. But if you spend down, you don't really need JWP. So that's the kind of the main question I think on at least for cash games here.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I also think there's no good cheap forwards really. So kind of leads you one of the ways.
Armando Broja.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. He's popping in projections, I hear.
He's popping in the RotoWire official projections. Don't come at me for those ones.
But yeah, you're probably going to play Bowen, and then a Man City player would probably be next. You mentioned Marmouche. Savinho could actually see some sets too, without Foden or any other left-footed players in there. So yeah,
would he take though with De Bruyne on?
I mean, he like one or two.
Right.
I think he did last time, like one or two. So yeah, I mean, it's not much, but I still think people would go to Savinho. I mean, he's cheaper than Marmouche by 1,200 as well. So I would be looking to a City guy for the second forward. And then you mentioned Semenyo at 63 looks like the best mid-range option. But after that, like there's really nobody on the whole board, right? McNeil, 4,700, just really does. I mean, he hasn't played longer than 3 minutes yet. So I can't see it. And if he starts like what, maybe he'd play 45, like, I don't know, rather play Broja almost.
Yeah, for his 60, 70 minutes, whatever it is. If Cam Archer starts, he's 3,500. But again, it's just like all these guys who it seems like most of these cheap options are, 60, 70 minutes. A Dinger had the crazy floor last game, but Miedema is going to be back. So even if a Dinger starts, maybe he doesn't even see the 82 minutes he got last game. He had the 16.9 floor points in the last game. Again, home against Leicester, a little different, but he's 5,400. So I wonder if he starts that people are going to look in that range. But yeah, I think maybe Semenyo and Sarr are sort of a little bit similar just because similar price.
Yeah.
Both it seems like 90-minute players. Most of their floors coming from, shots and whatever else. They're not going to be taking set pieces. So similar options, but I think the general consensus is that Semenyo just takes more shots, so he's probably a little safer. So that's probably it right there.
Yeah. And I should have thrown Sarr in there. He's very similar. Had been going 90 almost every game, 76 last week. I did read something about how they're the healthiest they've been like all season, and all their attackers are healthy. So
yeah, I mean, Eze hasn't been going 90 minutes, and they're bringing on all these youngsters. They brought on França, got the equalizer or whatever goal a couple weeks ago. They as Romain Esse, the Millwall guy, Millwall kid, he's back and he's coming on as well. And their position in the table, like the minutes, it seems like Sarr's minutes are guaranteed, but it doesn't seem like anyone else's are.
Yeah, I would even I would start to even worry about Sarr a little bit. Just like they haven't been playing great, but
I guess he did go 76 last game, but that was a 5-man result.
Yeah. But yeah, there's not much here, right? What about like your boy KLP? Seems a little bit too expensive. But he at least like I don't know, like he takes corners when Damsgaard's not in, but
Is that also when Jensen is not in?
both have to not be in.
Right. Jensen's healthy now. Also, Rico Henry, I think, was on the bench last week, maybe. So again, this is just like minimal things, but just to like throwing dents to these guys. I would say we've had these conversations before, but Evan Nielsen at 7,600, he's kind of like he's a more expensive version than Semenyo, but I also think I've always said this, he's just more likely to score than Semenyo. So
Definitely.
if you have
Yeah.
the 1,300, you can make it work, which I think you can do because of JWP. Like it's not that difficult to play Evan Nielsen in the spot either if you like Semenyo.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Evan Nielsen was definitely was going to mention him as one of my favorite tournament options. Like on this slate, he's a guy that goes 90 and has one of the better chances to score. So yeah, it looks like one of the better tournament plays.
yeah, he's getting at least 3 shots every game, similar to Semenyo.
Yeah.
I think he's on
Palace
PKs too, right?
Palace have kind of been struggling, I feel like too.
Basically, since Chris Richards returned to the back line, they're just allowing goals. Granted that they've been
Yeah.
difficult matchups, but
Yeah. City and Newcastle, right?
yeah. Yeah. So this Man City lineup is weird. I would say just for like the Savinho situation, he's oddly been dropped to the bench and barely played the last couple matches, and James McAtee started out wide in that
Yeah.
last game. So they did this little thing where it's like De Bruyne and a false nine, and their fullbacks go wide, and they just kind of have him operate in that role. It seems like okay, De Bruyne's in his role, and Marmoush's minutes seem like the ones who he has like the guaranteed minutes. I don't know, even if Savinho starts, it just seems like I don't
No,
know
I
right
think
now
you're right.
with Man
Yeah.
City.
I agree. Every other projected lineup I've seen has had McAtee in there instead of Savinho. Also, Foden's back, and Foden's going to be back in the squad. He could even start, but he's not going to. But he'll come on for one of them. So yeah, no, I agree with you.
I
I
mean,
think that's
everyone's
great.
projecting McAtee because they scored 5 goals last week, but I also think that they were not very good defensively in the first half. So, and they also played
Yeah, no,
that
I agree
way.
with
They
you.
played
I
that
think
way
that
because Crystal Palace had 3 center backs and Everton don't play that way. So I don't know if like Pep's going to just blindly use the same strategy because it worked at home against Crystal Palace. But maybe he wants to give McAtee some minutes. So I don't think anyone really knows who's going to start there.
I don't think anyone really knows. Yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of it for at least the major talking points for forward. If someone like Fulkrug starts for 7,300, have at it in tournaments. He's just like he's not even guaranteed for more than 45 minutes. If we're being realistic, but
Right.
Kevin De Bruyne, 10.4K, most expensive player on the slate. Is he the other guy that you just slot right in, assuming he starts?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I mean, it seemed like it was over for De Bruyne, but now it seems like it's the opposite. It seems like it's farewell tour. Like, the season's over, the league's over. They're not in any, the Europe's over. So he really hadn't. What are you gonna say?
Look at his game log before it was announced that he was done at Man City. It was just
Right.
like bench, 63, 66 minutes, announces
Yep.
his farewell tour. In the Derby, he goes 90. Last game, he goes 87. It's just like,
I mean, it
all
seems like
right.
there's something to that. Yeah, you mentioned all the other, like, why not? Why wouldn't you? There's nothing. You're not worrying about saving his health. You're not really even worried about winning. Like, so yeah, I'm gonna play
Sort of worried
KDB.
about winning.
So sort of, sure. Yeah, I mean, of course, Pep is. He needs to finish top four and all that, but
Top five.
top five.
Top five. Come on. Yeah, but and it's one game.
Don't you think though? It's the De Bruyne farewell tour now.
Yeah, they have been having one game per week. They do have a midweek game coming up, but that's not going to affect this one. So that's exactly what it feels like. And while it's not peak De Bruyne, if he plays this false nine role, if he plays whatever role, he's going to be in set pieces. They're against Everton. It's just like a spot where,
yeah,
like you don't fade it. It's kind of what it
right.
comes down to.
Tougher matchup, maybe you could consider.
So the second midfielder spot, not speaking JWP yet, JFP to an extent, but Eze 9,400 and Bomo 8,800, Tavernier if he starts 7,800. So I think the big talking point will be Eze. I'm not entirely sure what his percentages are going to look like. I don't know if this isn't like first half of the season, first 2/3 of the season. Eze, his floor hasn't been as good lately. He's been getting subbed off early. We mentioned already there's not a ton to play for Palace. These young guys get them minutes. 9,400. I know they're home against Bournemouth. What's your read on the Eze situation here?
Yeah, I think pretty good read by you that where it's like shaky for all those reasons. As a general rule, I like him in home spots still in this Eze at home, fade on the road. But all that being said, he's not a lock here at all, or not even like a he's probably the second best option. But I mean, Mbomo's cheaper. The matchup's like the same. The odds stay the same. Plays more minutes. So I don't really know that you can say Eze is ahead of Mbomo even for $600 more. They seem about the same. I don't think you could play I don't think you could play Tavernier over them.
Right.
But like in tournaments, I don't think people really play Tavernier, so that seems pretty good. I don't know, Adam. I'm not sure. Like I could see people just playing KDB and JWP and maybe neither of those expensive midfielders too.
I think that's very possible.
Yeah, because we're going to have other West Ham guys in consideration. You mentioned Kudus. Well, he would be the other one. So is there anybody in between?
I just want to say at JWP, 2 weeks ago, we had a conversation. He was 10.8K. I was all about fading him against Brighton. He got 2 assists in that game, and that was almost all of his points. He has 4 total crosses in the last 4 matches and 7 total shots. Gotten subbed off early in the last 3 as well. It just doesn't. It's just not the same. You're just not getting the same numbers from him, and if he's an early sub. I just find it hard personally.
I would just not really. I would throw out at Newcastle and at City. But I mean, I hear you. But
are you going to throw out at Southampton too?
No. I'm just not enamored with Palace either. So I think that's part of it. Yeah, I don't think you can expect like. I still think he's in play for 2 goals, or a goal and an assist. Like
that's
maybe
fair.
He doesn't have a huge floor, but.
Yeah, I mean, if you want like the upside play him in tournaments because we're talking him down, so play him in tournaments. I don't think
you need him in cash.
Yeah, I think there's still like contingents out there of people who will be like, yeah, as a sets, you can plug in JWP as a utility, and I think there's still going to be other companies around there touting Eze, but I just don't think it's the right move.
Do you think? Would you rather play Mbomo?
600 difference? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't really see how they're different.
Overall, I mean you're getting I think
just
you're getting,
on this slate.
You're getting a guarantee of 90s.
That's what I mean. I just mean you're getting the best player on Brentford at home and the best player on Palace at home, and they have like the same odds. And
is Eze still on is still on PKs?
I don't know. Yeah, he missed the one. He missed, right? So maybe not. He missed last week.
he oddly took over Mateta. That one didn't really make any sense. He took over Mateta, then had the miss. And Boma would be on PKs. Yeah, I mean, it's not, I would say it's not a massive difference, but you just have it seems like Mboma was guaranteed for 90 minutes. I just like the guaranteed for 90 minutes players more than the ones who, like Eze's been subbed off early the last 3.
I think Mbomo's the better play.
Also, Eze played on Wednesday. That's when he got subbed off early. So
really, in spots like this, I'll go to the odds sometimes, which I just did. And Eze is plus 150 to score or assist, and Mbomo's minus 110. So that's a big difference, actually. So give me Mbomo.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Crystal Palace are very slight underdogs in this one.
But yeah, minus 110 to plus 150. Like, give me Mbomo.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of the range. We've had the Matt O'Reilly discussions before. If he starts 6,400, I'm not sure about that.
O'Reilly?
Yeah.
Oh man, O'Reilly should have had a hat trick last week. Nobody played him either. I had him. I mean, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, I don't know. It's fine, but yeah, I don't think he has like that high before, but he plays like very advanced and will have chances to score an assist and takes a majority of sets. But yeah, he's only going to play 70 minutes.
I think that's an interesting range right there. You have O'Reilly, Gundogan, McAtee, Paqueta, and then just below that, Kudus is sitting at 5,700. It's just like I think Kudus is probably the best player of those options, but he's also the cheapest. So I just feel like that's a kind of like a weird spot there.
Yeah, I agree.
You can go down a little bit still. And this is if you feel the need to fade Ward-Prowse is kind of what this is built around. But Mateus Fernandez is 5,200, Ayari's 4,800, and
I don't know if you even need to fade Ward-Prowse. You can play Ward-Prowse and one of these guys.
Yeah, I mean you can.
You might.
You could definitely play him, but
Marmouche and Bowen and Estupiñán.
Would you want the leg up of fading Ward-Prowse in case he just gets 5 points?
In tournaments, yeah, I think in tournaments is a great fade. He's going to be massively owned.
But even in cash games, I still think like you don't need the salary. I don't think.
You want to spend up for 2 forwards, and if O'Reilly doesn't start, you probably want to block with Estupiñán.
Well, you're saying spend up at 2 forwards. Is that includes Semenyo, right? 6,300.
No, I would no. I mean, sure, yeah, he's fine. That would be then. Yeah, then you don't need to if you're comfortable with Semenyo. I would want to get to Marmouche.
So you're basically doing Bowen and Marmouche is what it comes down to.
I mean, I think so. They're just giving you JWP. There's no reason to fight it. If it was another matchup, you could fight it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. But like these other guys, like I think Mateus Fernandez is a pretty good play, actually. We always like playing these type of players against West Ham, set piece guy. And Smallbone has come on and not taken sets. I noticed that last week, Fernandez still took over him. So I think Fernandez could go under-owned on this slate, and he's got some upside. I like him. I don't think this is really a slate where you need like an Adam Wharton or who is the other set piece guy in here? Lewis Cook. I don't really think you need those guys. You just play JWP if you're thinking about players like that. But I think Fernandez has upside.
Yeah, always a favorite on here. Will Hughes 4,100. Yeah, I think if you do the Bowen, Marmouche, KDB, JWP route, there is, depending on what you do at defender, obviously, there is a route to plugging just Carlos Soler for 3,800 in your utility. That might be a popular route, but again, I think it's going to depend on what the Brighton lineup looks like. Oh, I was going to say Mateus Fernandez does pop in the floor version of Roto AI. He does
Love to hear that.
In that
because
that
this
build.
should be an above average floor spot for Southampton, right?
Yeah, this isn't like West Ham are at home, so it's prohibitive. Just fade Southampton. Even like Fernandez still has decent results in more difficult matchups outside of that Villa game. He's been fine mostly, I'd say.
I mean, he's Southampton's version of Bruno, of Enzo.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
I'm not really.
We can do
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on PKs though, but
fair.
Yeah, so I think there's clear range there for at least cash games. So we have to have this conversation again for Estupinian at defender. It's kind of, if Matt O'Reilly starts, fade Estupinian. If he doesn't, Stupinian's a better play. He is 5,600 here. Is that same exact situation as last week?
Same exact situation, Adam. And I had such a good time fading him last week. It was that Leicester matchup, and nobody else faded him. Nobody in the small field stuff. So it worked out very well.
We used to have like a dominant hold on the field. Now we've kind of, since Jack left, we haven't been doing as many shows, so people haven't been watching as much. But I think there's still some edges on this show because we told everyone fade Stupinian without set pieces. What he ended with, like 4 points or something.
4 points. I got to say that was great. That was great. I went to Kyle Walker-Peters for 29.
6,500.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you said it. Same thing with Estupinian. If O'Reilly doesn't start, you probably want him because even though he's still like doesn't do anything from open play, there's no other defenders on this slate that you're really trying to play in cash. Munoz is too expensive. Your boy Munoz can't really play him in cash though, or like you don't want Wan-Bissaka in a back
Just
four.
got a new contract. Is that even more motivation to score a goal here?
I mean, I don't think he needs any more. A guy like him, he seems plenty motivated.
Was it earlier this week that Opta released that article on him about how 440 he's getting, all the touches he's getting inside the box? Was that this week? It must have been a Monday or something. Okay. I posted that in the Discord, rotowire.com/chat. Also, Roto15, Roto15, promo code over at RotoWire, any RotoWire product to get everything. I posted a quick article on DFS. It is only available to RotoWire subscribers. That's over at rotowire.com/soccer. But I posted that in the Discord. If you want to read more about Munoz, you're probably going to have to search his name or something. But Munoz, 6,600. Same with Kirkash. We continually talk about these guys. These guys have great upside, but there's so many situations where we look at it, it's like, oh, it's a great matchup. Let's get a 10-point floor from these guys, but the floor is just not guaranteed from them. So I don't think they're worth it in cash.
I agree. Who does Roto AI have as the best point per dollar, or second best if they have Purvis?
KWP was popping up in the optimal.
That's what I was going for. So Roto AI is on it. Roto AI is on it because that's what I was going to say. I played KWP last week. There's no good defenders on this slate. So I think KWP is the best point per dollar.
You want who else is on there? Rico Lewis.
Yeah, unfortunate his price makes you consider him. Yeah. He's okay, but he just doesn't do anything. But he does have a chance to assist still. He's still like in and around the box occasionally.
A continual question with Southampton: are you less likely to pay KWP if he is a fullback instead of a wingback?
Yeah, you like him like where he's been. He's been playing very high up the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So you like him there. So I would be less likely, but still, it's just a really bad slate for defense. So
yeah,
you're not really giving up too much playing him.
If if Matt O'Reilly starts, would you swap Estupinian for Ryan Manning at 5,300 or just go somewhere completely different?
I think you could. I would maybe go somewhere completely different, though. I don't
Rico and
think he'd be.
KWT.
Yeah, I don't think Manning. I had kind of written off Manning, but that's not too bad on this slate actually. Just you get some sets against West Ham, so yeah, he's got to be in play.
Yeah, I'm going to go over here, pull up the actual game log for Southampton because I think it is kind of important here that we look at it. Also of note, Flynn Downs was not available in this. So I don't know if that's going to change formation. It could lead Mateus Fernandez playing more forward and then Flynn Downs starting in the midfield next to Ugo Chukwu. But I'm pointing this out because Simon Rusk is their interim manager. So that was his first game against Aston Villa. So we got a read of who he actually likes, who he wants to play. I guess he's trying to manage for a new job or some kind of job in the future, of course. So just looking at these minutes, I think I just want to point out Ryan Manning got 82 minutes because he's just one of these guys who doesn't have a guarantee of minutes, no matter who the manager is. But the first game under Simon Rusk, he got 82 minutes. So I think that is one of the relevant things I want to take away from that first game he managed there. So,
Yeah, no, I think that's relevant. I would play him if Onuachu starts, but I don't think he crosses as much otherwise.
True. Onuachu just continually dealing with a bum ankle. He started that game last week. He entered the game with a bad ankle. Then he was limping in the first 5 minutes and then went off at halftime. So if he starts, I would say don't play him because he's
Poor
continually
Paul.
injured.
Yeah, poor Paul. He's been decent when he's been when healthy.
Yeah. Anyone else stand out for you here?
No, I'd play a center back. The slate, you might be able to get away with a center back. I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like it. Based off what we're talking about, we don't really like that many of the expensive options.
I'll give a shout out to Dean, our boy Dean.
Dino?
Barcelona bound.
3,100?
3,100. Yeah. I don't know. No, I think it's that, West Ham center back. I don't know. You can get away with center back here.
Yeah, West Ham center backs. Where are they? Mavropanos 31, Kilman 3K, Totabo 2,900. So there you go. Best odds. What are their odds for a clean sheet here as we get into goalkeeper? Close to 40%. Do you trust those odds for West Ham to keep a clean sheet here?
Not really. No. I don't know. Do you?
No, I think
Southampton have trouble scoring, but
I think there's one obvious option for a goalkeeper, and I'm probably going to play him too much, and he's probably going to make one save and allow 3 goals, but it feels like the best play right now.
I mean, I really don't know who you're going to say, but I'm going to guess. I don't think Flecken.
Jordan Pickford.
Man, that's what I was going to say first, but yeah, I just don't know if you need it. He's fine, but maybe they're just going to win outright.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I think a win is in play, and I said this on our betting show. Check it out on the podcast feed or YouTube channel, youtube.com/@RotoWireSoccer. But there's only 3 more games left at Goodison Park. The next 2, I believe, are Southampton and Ipswich Town. This is a pretty big game here, Man City. All these games are pretty big because it's the end of Goodison Park. I think the last time they lost at Goodison was in January. And Man City, people look at that last game and this has happened all season. It's like, oh, Man City have a good game. They beat Nottingham Forest 3-0. They scored 5 goals against Crystal Palace. They're back. This team is back. But are they back? Are we sold right now that this team is actually back, or do they benefit from certain things against Crystal Palace? And now Everton are just, all these, what is it? 1-1 against Liverpool, 1-1 home against Arsenal, Why can't they go 1-0? Why can't they do 1-1 and have whatever 5 saves from Pickford in the spot? I just feel like 4,200 when if I feel that way about this game, then it just is like a lock for me in cash or just in general. I think it's
A lock.
It's for me personally, based on my thoughts in this game. For 4,200, I think like it just makes more sense.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, nobody likes Everton more than you. Nobody's like more confident in Everton than you. But I could see it. I don't know.
I mean, we look at the odds though. Man City are still less than 50% to win. I mean, like it shows in the odds. That's a pretty small number still.
Yeah. I just, he's only like 500 less than Kepa.
Yeah, Kepa's at Crystal Palace. Why do we trust Kepa? They've been allowing multiple goals in every game outside of that Fulham one where Fulham should have scored.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it's fine. I think Bournemouth are more likely to win, but you could be right. Everton they've had some good results against big teams.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
They haven't allowed more than 1 goal in like forever.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you might be onto something.
I don't believe in Areola. I don't believe in Man City keeping a clean sheet either at Everton, which is a big thing to say here. But Everton under Moyes, I don't know if they've been held scoreless yet. Maybe once recently against Liverpool. At Liverpool, they're held scoreless, but I think they're scoring at least 1 game in every match under Moyes. So, and we know the Man City defense. We know the Man City problem. We saw that against Crystal Palace. So, like, why are we spending up? Why are we spending up for goalkeepers? And now we got Flecken at 5K, and that's okay. That's okay in tournaments, of course. But 800 cheaper is Pickford. So
that's fair. I think I can't really argue with your reasoning.
Do you like Ramsdale at all? He now has 12 saves in the last 2 games, and West Ham are far from guaranteed to score multiple goals.
Yeah, seems fine. They don't strike me as a team that's going to be just like ripping a ton of shots, though. But maybe.
Maybe in this spot. Maybe when Southampton. Maybe when Sulemana gets a 10th minute goal and they have to push the rest of the way.
Yeah, it seems fine. I don't have a goalkeeper. I hate goalkeeper. I don't have a goalkeeper take.
Yeah, you do. Stop lying to everyone.
I mean, Areola, he should get a win. That's fine. Play whoever you want.
Fair. All right. Yeah, we did about everything there. So let's go through some of these matchups. How are we going to win tournaments? Is there a king of the pitch this week? I have not checked.
Yeah, there's a 25 and a 164.
You're playing in both, or just the 164?
No, I'm in the 25. I don't know if I'll play the 164. We'll see. See if I like a lineup.
So, what do you think the most popular route is going to be in tournaments? Would it just be
everybody's going to do the same thing.
A lot of the cash build that we talked about, Bowen, Marmoush, KDB, more or less like that.
And JWP, I think people will just leave him in. He helps you afford everything.
I think an obvious move is just to move to Carlos Soler in tournaments if he starts.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he'll still get ownership too, but fading JWP seems good in tournaments. I mean, unless he's going to score like 12 points, then you just want him.
He's not going to.
He might. Do we forget it's also who did he used to play for?
You think this is a revenge spot?
Oh, I mean, it's the ultimate. He was there for like 10 years.
How did that breakup go?
I don't know, but I threw a wrench in your JFP narrative.
I think so. They were relegated. He left on his own accord, right? That must have been it.
I think that's what happened, because he's JWP, England International, can't play in the
Yeah.
championship.
Yeah, and then West Ham bought him after
And then he sat on the bench.
after Southampton were relegated. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Tyler Dibbling right here if he starts. I'm just looking for pivots from JWP.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you're onto it. Dibbling and Sulemana, same price. One of them has a good chance to score.
That's almost it, unfortunately, in that range. You'd have to do a few more changes.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a
Nico
lot else to
O'Reilly.
like.
Nico O'Reilly at 4,200.
But you just said Everton's winning.
That's not going to stop O'Reilly from getting a 20
O'Reilly
point floor,
needs a
is
goal
it?
involvement. Yeah, he needs a goal.
Well, in that lineup, you don't play Pickford.
Okay.
So, are the Man City guys going to be more popular than Kudus and Bowen?
No. I think Bowen will be the most popular forward.
Bowen's going to be the most popular forward, and then okay.
I don't know about midfield. I don't know what's going to happen just because there's a lot of set piece guys and there's a lot of cheap guys. So, and Kudus has failed pretty often. So, I don't know how he's going to end up. He's going to be popular, obviously, but I don't know if he'll be like. I don't even know if he's a better player than Mateus Fernandes, to be honest.
Kudus his floor has gotten back up recently.
Yeah, but like it's a good spot for people like Mateus, like cash games, like people like set pieces.
Is the home game against Leicester still in your mind about Kudus? 3.4 points.
I like I like Kudus. I just don't think we need to oversell him.
He scored December 21st. 3 goals and 2 assists this season.
Awful play.
So he had 5 goals in 9 Europa League appearances last season. He has 3 goals in 26 league appearances right now.
Easy fade.
So you're definitely playing him. Got it. Noted. Okay, so Man City. I just like Marmoush no matter where that matchup goes. But let's say we fade De Bruyne, we get a 1-1 result, or Man City don't score or something like that. Let's just say Man City score 1 goal. How many people do you want to play for Man City if they just get 1 goal?
I mean, 1 or 2.
You still want to play De Bruyne and Marmoush in that situation?
Well, yeah. What if De Bruyne scores it? De Bruyne to Marmoush. They both scored 20 points. It's pretty like I don't fathomable. Seems pretty reasonable.
All right, maybe that's a bad question. Maybe I should ask if they're held scoreless.
Yeah. Or just like, I don't know. I know what you're saying. I don't know. Like, I don't like a lot of guys on Man City besides the ones we talked about. Don't like a lot of players on this
depending
team
on
in
what they
general.
look like. They rolled out Nico Gonzalez, Kovacic, and Gundogan in the midfield last game, which was kind of weird. So we'll see again. What is your read on that match? I gave my read on Everton. What's your read?
I don't know, man. City have been so up and down, but I would still pick City to win here. Everton just don't offer anything like in attack. I don't know. They maybe a late Doucouré goal. That's how they win all their games. Maybe Broja somehow.
That's how they won their last
They're not
game.
going to have a lot of possession here. They can't have a lot of possession here. So I think it's going to be tough. I don't love City, but
what do you think
I'm not as high as you.
Rico Lewis / Matheus Nunez is going to do against Ndiaye on that wing?
Concede a pen, maybe.
Exactly.
Hey, I could,
Ndiaye draws the pen, takes the pen, and I think he's too expensive, but
And
Where
then
is
we
it?
get a late Decore winner,
58.
2-1, right there.
Get the Pickford win bonus. Okay.
Maybe Alcaraz comes on. He could score.
Do you have any other hot takes on either one of these other matches?
I think Bournemouth's better than Palace. So that's why I mentioned Kepa. But no, I mean, it's not going to shock me if Palace win at all. I think Palace are in worse form. And then, and ever since you told me how Brentford are actually decent and not just a home team,
They haven't been good.
no, they've impressed me. They've
Okay.
impressed me the more I watch them. So I would pick Brentford here, but again, it's not going to shock me if Brighton finally score some goals, because Brighton have been creating chances, just not scoring. Like, it's crazy that O'Reilly didn't score a bunch of goals last week, and Adingra. They had amazing chances. So like, I still think Brighton would be like the team with more possession probably in that game, you'd think, and chances, but I don't know. Brentford have been better than I gave them credit for, I guess, is the point.
Yeah, I think Brighton last week had a problem where they didn't have Jean-Paul Van Heck, and they just had to change too many things to where there was mistakes going on in the back against Leicester. And so I don't think that's going to happen again, because Van Heck is no longer suspended. But yeah, that is one of these games. I remember talking about it the first time they played. Just you could see anything really happening. It could be 2-2. It could be goals in this, or it could be a little more defensive, because both teams have struggled converting. It's kind of how I see it. So that makes it difficult for DFS purposes. Which
I think for Bruggen is a good tournament play too. Yeah, they could win 1-0.
Yeah. And I mean, this is probably the game we've talked about least amount. I mean, João Pedro last week, 2 PKs. So like, can't really forget to mention him. He's 8,400, 34 points against Leicester. He was the guy who did all the scoring last week for them. But Danny Welbeck in there as well.
I think Welbeck's an okay tournament option.
5,900. Yeah, he's still
It's
pretty
because
cheap.
there's no one else, is what it is. So like, yeah, you could just get a goal. Like 13 points might be optimal in some cases.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not going to give a score projection for that. Well, okay, fine. I'll say 1-1. Let's go 2-2 Crystal Palace Bournemouth, 1-1 Everton Man City, 3-1 West Ham Southampton. There we go. Those are my projections.
You gonna play any Broja?
No chance.
No chance. Okay.
I am not RotoWire projections.
Lets you get that other mid. You could spend up for another mid.
I think you could do that anyways if you do like a Semenyo.
Yeah, I think so. Especially if you're playing Pickford. So
yeah, there's room where if you don't spend up on Bowen and Marmoush, that like you can play one of those 6K forwards and still kind of make a reasonable lineup without JWP. I think it was I had, so if with Semenyo you could do like Kudus and Mateus Fernandez with KDB, KDB, KDB. Instead of, so that would be, so like Semenyo, Kudus, and Mateus Fernandez instead of Marmoush, JWP, and I don't know who the other option was, but someone that was cheap. So I think those are pretty similar. The difference is, I think maybe it is kind of hard to fade Marmoush, but again, if they,
I mean, think you can. City have like a 1.6 total or whatever. You can fade him.
Yeah, and he's 9,800, so it's not like he's, on a value basis, an amazing play. He wasn't appearing in the in the optimal lineup for me. Let's see
Yeah,
what.
without sets either. It's
Yeah,
one of those where while he's still a good play, he'll probably be like a little bit overowned for how actually good of a play he is.
I had to manually remove some sets from his projection. So per 90, 11.7 floor this season. But again, about half of that's probably with set pieces. You see his average is 2.91 crosses. So I guess not too many. But yeah, so you take a few points off that and you're at like a 10-point floor for 9,800 is kind of
Yeah,
what it comes down
also
to.
he doesn't cross anymore without
Yeah.
Holland in there.
I had to research that one. I had to drop his crossing numbers. He has 2 crosses in the last 3 games.
Yeah, there's no need to. Same thing with these teams you got to give them a little bit of credit.
Yeah. You got anything else for the slate?
No.
That is all we got. Saturday, April 19th. RotoWire 15. No, Roto 15. ROTO 15, 15% off any RotoWire product at the site. Again, join us in the Discord, rotowire.com/chat. I'll throw up a link for the Roto AI projections. Maybe I should change the name from Roto AI because it just gets confused with RotoWire. Roto AI. Maybe we'll call it ZAI. I've called it that before. ZAI.
Zinpax.
Zinni, named after Zinchenko. Zinpax. Zinpax AI. Let's do it. But that's all we got for this slate. No Champions League next week. There's 2 Premier League games midweek, but I don't think we're gonna have a video for those. We'll be back next Friday. Thank you for listening, Ryan. Thank you. Good luck. Win some KOTP tickets. Good luck, everyone, and see you in the Discord.
Thanks, Adam. Good luck, everybody.